Now it's time for Fran to say a few words. And I think the others might return to
Me? Oh, me? Well, last night, Father Jim Martin talked about being installed. And he said when he thought of being installed, he thought more of an electrical appliance, such as maybe a refrigerator being installed. So, like a refrigerator, I've just been installed. I'd like to share something else with you this evening, and that is that my daughter, Joan, is being installed this evening as well, which I think is very serendipitous. She's being installed as president of the New England Women in Real Estate, and she's being installed in Boston probably at this very time that I'm being installed. So we have had a lot of fun with this. We've been giving each other's hints about how to get the attention of the audience if they're chatting it up too much. And actually, Joan's law firm paid for her to have an elocution advisor, which the Catholic Women's Club did not. Monsignor Hoy refused to foot the bill for an elocution coach. But anyway, the elocution coach had some very silly suggestions, like if the women won't come to order, you just stare them down, and eventually they'll pay attention. Now, I don't think that would work with this group. But seriously, we shared some very lovely mother-daughter moments, and we thought it was special that we were both being installed this evening. But enough about that. I think it's time for me to make this acceptance speech. When I think of an acceptance speech, I think of an old-time politician exuberantly shouting words of thanks to his constituents for their support, both moral and monetary, and for their vote. And perhaps also echoing his earlier promises to do all kinds of wonderful things, and as stated in his campaign promises. Well, I ran unopposed. In reality, I didn't even run. In fact, I hope in the future I won't feel like running in the opposite direction, especially when things run amok, which hopefully they won't. With the wonderful fellow officers I have, and with the fabulous board, with the warmth and the energy and so forth of this group, hopefully we won't run amok, at least not too often. And a wonderful way to avoid criticism for not keeping one's campaign promises is not to make any. So therefore, I have already avoided that pitfall. I've made no campaign promises. But I do have some promises, or if you will, goals for my tenure here. And I will need your help to carry them forth. First of all, I would like to broaden the scope of the club, the membership of the club, just a little bit. Not that there's a darn thing wrong with it as it is, but I think it would be great to reach out to some of the women who don't know about the wonderful time we have, the wonderful work we do, and just to reach out to women who really don't know about us yet and inform them. I think it would be especially nice to reach out to some younger women. Not that we're old now, but when I mentioned this goal, because I think it does give an organization energy and greater interest if you mix it up a bit and have more of a heterogeneous group. When I mentioned this goal to one of our fellow parishioners, he responded, well, yes, it would be nice to attract some younger woman. Maybe you could get some in their 60s. And I said, whoa, wait a minute, we're not that old. But seriously, I think we're fine just the way we are, but I had to give a goal, you know, so I said that. Secondly, we will continue our fundraising efforts, and as you can see, we usually earn enough money so that we can give a lovely check to the parish, and we can give a scholarship. And our first effort will be the summer fair, which will be on July 10th and 11th in the parish hall. Now, the summer fair this year will have an additional interest in that it will have a farmer's market component, as well as a book sale and the traditional, very popular bake sale. I ask that on your way out, if you haven't already stopped at the reception table, you will pick up, you will sign to make a theme basket, either on your own or with a friend. And there are some suggestions for different theme baskets that you might make for the summer fair. Theme baskets are a real crowd pleaser, and they sell very well. So I hope there'll be some interest in making some theme baskets for us. And also, perhaps you could contribute something wonderful to the summer fair, and there are suggestions on the sign-up sheets. And if you just put those sign-up sheets, you can tear off the bottom if you wish and save the portion that has the suggestions. If you just put them in the basket on the table, it would be terrific. And this is the new regime's first effort at fundraising, so I know you're going to help us because you want me to stay here and not run like I threatened. Anyway, we also are planning some very interesting luncheon meetings as we've had in the past. We already have some lined up, I'm happy to say, thanks to our program person, Joni Powers, and the rest of the board. We're planning some knock-your-socks-off evening meetings with cocktails and catered dinners and entertainment. And we've been very fortunate to book Liz Saunders, who has a reputation of being a fabulously good entertainer, and she will be on November 12th, and I can't wait to see her, and I know you'll be enthusiastic about it as well. A very important goal, of course, is to continue to grow spiritually, because our interest in strengthening our relationship with God is what distinguishes us from the other women's clubs in town. And an important distinction it is indeed. So we hope to continue with that. And finally, we hope to make new friends. We hope to nurture our existing treasured friendships, many of which we've made in this venue. And we hope to have fun. And as Father Martin said last night, fun is a foretaste of heaven. So on that note, I think we'll have a foretaste of heaven as we work together, play together, and pray together. All this being said, it won't be easy for me to follow in Pat's most capable footsteps. You know that Pat is intelligent, she's innovative, she's creative, she's organized, she's a tireless worker, she's a born leader, and she's a cherished friend and mentor. How blessed we've been to have had her as our president, not for 2, but for 3 years. And I would like at this time to invite Pat to the podium one more time. Pat.